I went from sleeping on the floor of an airport to making more than $1 million a year and helping thousands of entrepreneurs make money online because I learned one important lesson along the way, and that is money loves speed. I don't mean you have to be reckless. I don't mean that you have to throw things at the wall just to see what sticks. But I will tell you this, the longer you wait on a good idea to put it in motion, the more expensive your hesitation becomes because money loves speed. Money loves action. Money loves putting out things into the world to see what the market wants. What I mean by that is ideas are a dime a dozen. Like I have so many ideas in a given day, and a lot of them are really good ideas, and I'm sure you do too. But if you don't put your idea into motion, it is just simply that. Another idea in a vault, in a folder that you'll never know if it works or not. So this is what I see when I work with thousands of entrepreneurs. And I do literally mean that. I have more than 28,000 members in my Your First 5K membership inside of my school. You can go and join, it's free. And a lot of times what I'll see is someone who is held back because they're worried about the wrong thing. Like I'll say, well, did you put up your new YouTube video so that you can get people to see what you're about and maybe strangers who are your ideal clients will get to know you over time? And they'll say, this person, will say, I really want to do YouTube, but I'm just waiting to get the right script. I have to script it out. Or I don't have a really good camera. And I'll say, well, do you have a phone, a smartphone? They'll say, yeah. And I was like, well, the cameras on your smartphones are better than some of the like big cameras were just 10, 15 years ago. Certainly on the newer phones. Like the newer phones are like having Hollywood grade cameras. Anyway, the point of this is people hesitate for the wrong reason. Because every day you didn't put that video out, or you didn't send that email, or you didn't make that ask, or you didn't put that offer out into the world, is another day that goes by without the market, without people, potentially your ideal client and customer, without them seeing it, without them being aware of it or knowing about it. And to me, that is just too expensive for me to do, right? I look at this as what is my return on investment? What's my return on investment of time, of waiting? So I know that sometimes waiting for a while and getting your ducks in a row, getting things in order feels responsible. It feels like the responsible thing to do. If you're not held back by fear, you may simply be held back by really good taste. Like that's okay, right? But the problem with that is you cannot read the minds of your customer. You cannot read the minds of your viewer, of the person who is going to go on this journey with you. And until you put things out, not just videos, but anything that you need to put in market, until you put that out, you simply don't have enough feedback and data to signal if it is what people want. So think about this. Like I could, when I get an idea about something that I want to launch, I could say, well, let me put together a team of 3 people to oversee it. I will go spend some money to do that. I'll then train them, make sure they understand my vision, they understand what I want to do. I'll get a couple of vendors to make sites and funnels and all sorts of things. We'll do some surveying so we can get pricing right, and then I'll put it out there. Now I could do this, and this is not a bad thing to do. But what I do instead, and this is why I make four or $5,000 a day, and to me that's actually like I have so much further that I want to go, right? What I do instead is I have an idea. Maybe I wake up with the idea, or in the first hour of being awake, I have this like I've set like a goal for myself to find a solution to an issue that I have. Like I want to launch something, but I'm not sure what it is. I want to see what's out there when it comes to this part of my ecosystem. Instead, what I do is I have the idea. I jump on something like Lovable, which is one of my favorites, which is AI. I will jump on Lovable, or I'll go to YouTube, or I'll go to school, or I'll go to an email or a text message, and I will simply put it out there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be like well put together. There's a certain standard that I have, and I really respect my audience. I respect my customers, but I respect them also enough to ask them what they want. Sometimes you'll see me inside of your first 5K, in fact, put up a survey, and I'll say I will delete the survey soon when I get enough information. I'll put a survey up, I'll get 37 responses in 5 minutes, and then I have my answer of that question. And then I'll delete it. And then maybe 15 minutes later, you'll see that video up, or that thumbnail chosen, or the price point that I asked about. Because I'm not going to sit around and ruminate on it for days or for weeks when I could have it out there in the world, people not only paying for it, which is a major deal, but people giving me feedback that I can tweak. Now, a lot of this has to do with having the ability to be wrong, having the ability to be wrong in public. I've had this ability for a very long time. Like, I have had the ability to be wrong in public for the past 10 plus years, because when I went from being homeless, as I mentioned earlier, to building a venture capital fund from the ground up and investing in more than 200 companies led by underrepresented founders. I mean, this was groundbreaking, and it has reshaped what venture is. It's just true. And when I was doing that, there were so many times that I got punched in the face in public, metaphorically. So many times where what I thought was going to be the case was not the case. What I attempted to do in that moment, maybe those 6 months, uh, in the grand scheme of things, didn't work out the way it was planned, and had a microscope on me because I was going against such a behemoth of an industry that didn't want to be disrupted. So I had to make the decision very early on that it's okay to fail and fail in public, and it's also okay to be wrong in public. I mean, that's something that if you can grasp that, if you can really internalize, it's okay for me to be wrong here. It's okay for me to put this out and nobody buys it. Right? Have you ever done that? Where, let me know in the comments right now if you've ever put something out for sale, whether it's a physical product or it's like some sort of like, come to my webinar or whatever, and nobody purchased it. You got crickets, or one person did, and you're like, oh, this is supposed to be a group thing, or you made like 100 of these because you thought that there was demand, and then nobody bought. I've been in that situation so many times, even before the last 10 years. I've been in that situation so many times. It doesn't feel great. But you know what? You learn from those moments too. So if you can internalize this thing of like, I'm collecting data, it's okay if this doesn't turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out. And therefore, I'm not going to put everything into one thing. You know how people come up to me and they're like, "This is my one shot." And I'm like, "No, it's not. If this is your one shot, we have trouble." Yeah. So what I think a lot of people call planning, what you call planning, is fear. You want the perfect name, the perfect landing page, the perfect logo, the perfect colors. You're just really afraid to see what the market is going to say. And that's okay to feel that. But there is no such thing as perfect. And you can either, I always say this in a different way, like different ways. You can say, do you want to be perfect, or do you want to get paid? Put that in the comments if you heard me. Do you want to be perfect, or do you want to be paid? Because they don't exist together. They do not exist together, because perfection is not fast. Perfection does not exist. Therefore, it is very much so not fast, because you'll never get there. But the faster you can go out there and get some evidence and some proof and some signals, the faster you can improve and get better. So there's no perfect, but there is better. So I want to instill in you this idea of moving fast. If there's something that's going to help you level up, what's that thing right now? I know there's something actually that's going to help you level up. You know it. You know it in your heart. Like this thing, if I had $10,000, or if I had more time, or if I had, dot dot dot, I would be able to do this. If I had this degree, I would be able to do this. I would want to do this and level up. Whatever that thing is, it might be just something you saw the last few days and you're like, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. Whatever that is, why not now? Why wait to speed up? Why slow down just to speed up later? Why not just speed up now and get there faster? Really think about it because speed creates momentum and momentum itself creates the belief that you're looking for, the evidence that you've been looking for. So like you send out some emails. Most people ghost you, but somebody replies. You post your offer, somebody asks a question about it. You announce the workshop, someone signs up. You follow up, someone says maybe. Maybe somebody says yes. So now you're not just thinking, ideating, and hoping, you're in motion, you're in momentum. Another part of speed is not just the decision-making side of things, to just go out there, make a decision, put things out into the world, because decision-making is super important. It's just like, let's see, let's experiment. Another part of speed is that a lot of opportunities have expiration dates that have you have no control over. So you're out here saying, "Oh, I'll do that next week or next month or next year when I'm dot dot dot." But you don't know if that opportunity window is going to stay open. You don't know if the next person who is willing to speed up isn't just going to take your place. So don't live in a world of FOMO. Don't live in a world like fear of missing out. Don't live in a world where it's just like, oh, I got to get everything. It's not greed, it's speed. Do you hear me? It's not greed, it's speed, it's momentum. It doesn't have to be chaotic speed. It can be very focused and very smooth speed. It doesn't have to feel like you're doing everything at once or you're taking on everything. It just means get out of your head. Get out of this cycle, this vicious cycle that you're in. Another thing is like people really like to skill up. They like, and this is great. I think it's like self-improvement is one of my favorite things in the world. So I'm always taking a course. I'm always in people's masterminds. I'm paying people to do VIP days. I'm doing all that. I do that all the time, like constantly. And in fact, what I do is I pay for the shorter amount of time. So if you think about it, think about this, and I hope I help you think of this in a different way. Most people think, especially if they're beginners or they haven't sold a lot, they think in order to charge people more, I need to do more and give them more, and it needs to be over a longer period of time. So for instance, most people think that charging $1,000 for a year is better than charging $1,000 for a day, right? Because it's like, oh, you get more time, you get more stuff, you get more. When in actuality, it's better to charge $1,000 for the day if you can make it happen. If you can get someone a transition, a win faster, if you can get them a transition that would have taken a year in a day, you could charge 10,000 for that day, where you're charging 1,000 for the year because money loves speed. And on the other side of the equation, which is your customer, they're looking for speed too. They're looking for an edge and they want that edge as soon as they can get it. So if you can do whatever you're doing right now faster for someone, that will make you more money. I hope you stay to this point because this is so important. I see this personally when I look at the different offers that I have. I have a years long inner circle, for instance. It costs $6,000 a year today. I have more, like 90 people are in that. It's amazing, right? People stay with me years and years and years. And I mean, it's like a $25,000, $30,000 product for 6,000. So that's part of why they stay. But we do some awesome stuff together. We spend days together, we hang out in person. It's just like a year-long membership, right? It's really cool. But I also do VIP days. And do I charge less for the VIP days? No. I even charge more for the VIP days. I charge more for 1 day with me where you have my undivided attention than I do for a year of my high ticket program. Because what we're going to do in that day is hopefully skip the line 3, 6, 12 months so you don't have to wait. You see? Another example is my Authority X Pro, my new AI, which is, I call it my AI brain or my AI clone, which people are flocking to. I've only had it out for a month and it has hundreds of users. People are buying it. You also get a 24-hour trial. So we have like 1,000 people on that trial right now. And you just go to the website. I have everything linked below, but to do that. But the point of it is that people are getting results from it within minutes. And with me, you might be able to, every once in a while, I'll put up one-on-one calls available. And it costs the same as having Authority X Pro in most cases, if I'm doing like a discount. And you could say, okay, I'm going to get 30 minutes with Arlan. I'm going to pay $1,000 and I'm going to set it. Oh, look, she has time 2 weeks from now. So I'll set it up. Cool. That's great. And we'll talk for 30 minutes and that's wonderful. With Authority X Pro, people can pay the same amount or less to get started, ask the same questions, all of them that you would have in the 30 minutes, get responses within an hour. And you can start to implement those responses immediately. So I have a lot of people. I don't do the calls anymore, and I may do them one day, but I don't do them anymore unless you're in inner circle. And I have a lot of people in my inner circle program, again, paying me thousands of dollars a year, who have just bypassed talking to me. They're just like, you're gonna get to me in a week. Like, I don't need to talk to somebody right now. So they're just going to my Authority X Pro because money loves speed. They're trying to make more money. They don't want to hear about it next week. They don't want to hear about it next month. They don't want to hear about it 6 months from now. They want answers now. So, what can you do with your current offer to have either a version of it that is faster or to recalibrate it to being faster? This is going to be a very big money making and generating decision for you if you can figure that out. So, like, for instance, for yourself, going back to like making decisions, get out and market. You might say, well, I'm going to have a school membership because we were just talking about schools, so it's on my mind. Um, this week I did a whole school challenge sprint. You could say, I'm going to have a school membership and I'm going to launch it in 2 months because I'm going to build and I'm going to put stuff here and I'm going to record that and do this and that. And I'm going to build out my classroom. Well, that's okay. And it's not terrible. But the problem is, you don't know for sure that everybody's going to want everything you put in that classroom. And you're about to spend 2 months putting it together when instead what you could do is invite people now to almost an empty school. Put up a pin post that says, hey, we're in construction mode. You are on the ground floor. Come on in. Put up a pin post, tell them to introduce themselves, ask them what they want to see in this club. Put up one live session every couple of weeks in the calendar so that people see, oh, there's something happening. Okay, cool. Put up maybe a start here module in the classroom that says, here's something you can learn right now. Here's something I got for you. I did it, 2 hours it took me. Instead of what most people do, and I've seen it over and over again because I've helped hundreds of people start their own schools. I've taught thousands of people about school. What I see people do is they say, well, it has to have this, 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 and this. There's this checklist that they've come up with in their minds, and I'll check back with them a month later. It's still not live. I'll check with them 2 months later. It's still not live. All that time, not only could they have made money, but they could have picked up on signals, data, and information that would have helped them make their page and their school better because they're not trusting themselves. And if you start to use the muscle of speed, I promise you, you will start to trust yourself more and more and more because you will get the reps in to start to build instinct faster. The way you build instinct is by trying and failing and trying and winning. Trying and failing, trying and winning, and understanding what both feels like. And then you start to understand what something feels like prior to the win or prior to the fail. So your instinct gets built up. And then your instinct over time turns into information, knowledge, and that instinct and that knowledge and information turns into wisdom. And the only way to become wise is to start over here at this part where you're doing the experimentation. So you can do that over 50 to 70 years, or you can do that in 5 to 7 years. Become more wise than anyone around you. And if you're over 50, you know what I'm talking about already. I don't even have to explain this to you. But what if you could 2 times, 2x the amount of wisdom you feel you have? What if you, because you're 50 plus, go to a different level of instinct and wisdom? Some people over 50 don't feel wise. We don't, feel like I'm 45. I feel very wise. I feel very wise because I feel like I have lived a million lifetimes. I've lived 5 or 6 lifetimes because speed happened to me, if we're being honest. Speed happened to me. So if you can be the one that controls speed, controls your speed, it's very powerful. So what's the simplest version of something that you could sell in the next 24 hours? Is most times what that is a one-on-one phone call or a Zoom call. That's make a version that's like that. Another way is, oh man, we've had people inside of Your First 5K. They use some prompts that I have inside of our classroom. Again, it's linked all below. They go into the AI for Business classroom module. They use my AI Genie and they spin up a website, landing page, sales page, something, some sort of something for somebody in 10, 15 minutes using AI because I just tell them how to do it. They then take it to that person and sell it to them. And they make it 300, $500 in like an hour. This stuff happens for real. This is not something I'm just guessing because they didn't say, well, I got to go take a couple of courses and I got to do this. Great. Take the couple of courses now. Start now, right? If you heard me talk about Authority X Pro and it was interesting to you, go do the 24-hour trial now. It's free. Don't wait till next week. You don't know if I'll offer it next week. Go do it now. If you've already taken the trial, what are you waiting on? If you did all that in a day, what could you do in a week? Because we now have weekly pricing. What could you do in a month? We have monthly pricing. What could you do in a year? Make every day a sprint inside of Authority X Pro. You could do a sprint once or twice a year for the next 10 years, or you could do 20 sprints in the next 12 months and do 20 years of growth and momentum. What are you going to do to make your first million?